U.S.-China signed trade framework agreement.
NA approves breakthrough mechanism for International Financial Center in Vietnam.
People's credit funds promote rural economic development.
Hello, so good to see you again in today's news. I'm Hoàng Yến and let's get started. The United States and China have signed a trade deal, marking a significant development in the ongoing trade negotiations between the two economic superpowers.
The deal comes after a series of negotiations in various locations, including London and Geneva, aimed at de-escalating the global trade war. The trade deal includes a framework agreement on facilitating rare earth shipments, which is based on bilateral trade talks. One of the key points of the deal is the continuation of tariffs imposed by both countries. According to President Donald Trump, the U.S. will continue to impose 55% tariffs on China, while Beijing will retain a 10% tariff on American goods. This indicates that while the deal represents a step towards easing trade tensions, it does not eliminate all tariffs between the two countries.
The EU's 27 leaders just agreed to extend sanctions on Russia for another 6 months, resolving fears that Kremlin-friendly Hungary would hinder this process.
The decision at a summit in Brussels means that the EU's sweeping sanctions over the war in Ukraine, including the freezing of more than $200 billion, used $234 billion in Russian central bank assets, will remain in force until at least early 2026. The decision comes after officials said they were preparing contingency plans to keep the bloc's economic punishment on Moscow in place should Hungarian leader Viktor Orban disagree to extend sanctions against Russia. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky urged EU leaders to adopt the strong sanctions package targeting Russia's oil trade, banks, and supply chains that bring equipment or parts for making weapons.
With 438 out of 447 deputies voting in favor, the National Assembly on June 27 just passed a resolution on the establishment of an international financial center in Vietnam, paving the way for the development of the financial market in Vietnam.
Accordingly, the International Financial Center will be developed in both Ho Chi Minh City and Da Nang City. The resolution outlines the principles for establishing, operating, managing, and supervising the center, which will be developed based on unified oversight and governance, while also leveraging the unique strengths of each city. The goal is to position Vietnam as a leading destination in the global financial network and a new driver of national economic growth. The development of the International Financial Center is expected to serve as a catalyst to elevate Vietnam's financial standing globally, drive economic growth, and deepen the country's integration with the regional and international economy.
Upcoming are some updated news.
Starting from July 1st, 2025, the two-tier local government model, comprising the provincial and communal administrative levels and eliminating the intermediate district level, will be officially implemented nationwide, marking a significant milestone in Vietnam's administrative reform and decentralization of state management. Provinces like Thanh Nguyen, Nghệ An, Quang Tri, Quang Ninh, and Thanh Hoa began trial operations in June, simulating complete meetings of party committees, people's councils, people's committees, and administrative centers to review procedures and ensure a smooth transition. The new model is expected to cut 30% of local administrative procedures.
On the morning of June 27th, more than 1.1 million candidates nationwide entered the second and final day of the 2025 high school graduation exam, with 2 elective subjects. On the second day of the exam, candidates took 2 elective exams among the following subjects: foreign language, chemistry, physics, biology, history, geography, economic and legal education, information technology, all in the form of multiple choice tests within 50 minutes. The 2025 high school graduation exam scores will be announced on July 16th. Students can start registering and adjusting their university admission wishes until July 28th.
Mr. Levan Luong, Secretary of Tuong Duong District Party Committee in Nghệ An Province, announced that the campaign to support housing construction for disadvantaged people in the area has been officially completed. Tuong Duong currently has 4,656 poor households. With the determination to complete the program of building and repairing houses for the poor, Tuong Duong District launched an emulation movement 90 days and nights to build and repair houses for the poor from March 1st to June 2025. As of June 20th, 2025, Tuong Duong District has completed and put into use over 1,400 houses, achieving a rate of 90.3%.
The government had just issued a Decree 15 on the agricultural and rural credit. The new decree raises the unsecured loan limits and loosens capital access conditions. This is an important step to remove the obstacles for agricultural credit, opening up sustainable development opportunities for people. More in this story.
Previously, to borrow 1 billion VND, Mr. Boi Din Hoi's high-tech agricultural cooperative had to mortgage land titles and go through many appraisal stages. But from July 1st, according to the amended Decree 156, if he has a feasible production plan, he can borrow up to 3 billion VND without collateral.
Previously, when we borrowed money, it was very difficult because we had to mortgage our assets. Now we expect that this policy will soon be effective.
Under the amended Decree 156, individuals and households can borrow a maximum of 300 million VND. Cooperative groups and business households can borrow 500 million VND. And cooperatives, cooperative unions, and farm owners can borrow up to 3 to 5 billion VND. Additionally, the loan conditions have also been relaxed, making it easier for people to access credit.
The revised Decree 156 has loosened many conditions, creating more convenience for customers as well as banks.
The increase in credit limits aligns with the growing capital demand in agriculture, especially with rising production costs. However, in order for this capital to be used effectively, banks still assess the scale and production plan before lending.
We focus on evaluating loan options, stable income, and industry risks to consider appropriate limits.
In addition to increasing the loan limit, Decree 156 also expands the beneficiaries of preferential credit policies. The problem is how to allocate capital to the right subjects and use it for the right purposes, thereby promoting efficiency and truly becoming a boost for agricultural and rural development.
The last story just ended our show today. Thank you so much for your attention. Goodbye and see you later.